Local government's mission is to improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person. But has it managed to achieve that over the last 20 years? What are some of the challenges that lie ahead? What progress has been made? Let's get some answers now. SALGA's president, Thembi Nkadimeng, joins us now live. Councillor, welcome to the agenda.
Good morning and good morning to our viewers.
Firstly, history lesson, 20 years back. Remind our viewers why the 5th of December is significant in terms of local government elections.
Well, today on the 5th of December, for the first time in our country, the local democratic dispensation held its first elections, marking the amalgamation or the joint of over 1,000 municipalities to a slide to close to 300 at the time, to form the dispensation of what we see today to be a local government. That meant we had already divided South Africa into a whole boundary of wards to ensure that delivery of services and attainment of the goals of local government are easily attainable.
Well, let's look at those goals. 20 years on, the South African Local Government Association has set out its role to, represent, promote and protect the interests of local governments and to, one would say, raise the profile of local government among other objectives. And you've no doubt come up against some serious challenges, poor municipal audit outcomes being one of them. The president said in a speech recently that the latest report from the Auditor General points to serious lapses of governance and financial management in municipalities. For instance, for the 2018-2019 financial year, only 20 of the country's 257 municipalities got clean audits. This is less than 8%. Having said that, Councillor, why should South Africans be hopeful that things can improve?
Well, things can improve because when you start from that launch of local government on the 5th of December, 20 years ago, one, we had to establish an institutionalized system. So we had to finalize legislation, which was done, and then immediately roll out the provision of services to our people. And I think that's where we came with some of the challenges, which I beat a myriad of them, some complex, some relatively easily manageable to deal with. For example, a contestation in legislation, not close ties up in terms of IGR framework between the spheres of government being national, provincial, and local government, difficulties in the ease of transfer of infrastructure and services to local sphere and then to the people who are residing in WAS. Because remember, there's nothing called national government and provincial government. Literally, those find themselves in a particular ward of a particular municipality. Different financial fiscal frameworks, grading of municipalities, which led to different pockets of difficulties. There's a huge difference between a local municipality that is urbanized and a local municipality that is rural. Yet the legislation says both of them must equally collect 90% of their revenue to be able to sustain themselves. So most of the municipalities which we call unviable financially today are not necessarily unviable because of corruption entirely, but they are unviable because they are unable to collect services. Predominantly, the rural KwaZulu-Natal, rural Limpopo, rural Eastern Cape, and many other isolated pockets of rural people who still find themselves in urban areas. But of course, we have challenges which we also said we are celebrating and reflecting on ourselves in the past 20 years. Maladministration is one of them. Yeah. Corruption is the second, which in the main also lead to non-attraction of proper skills at the local government level, right? Because professionals now don't want to be associated with the sphere. And we have to correct that by building trust and confidence so we could be able to attain better skills.
Well, let's talk about that trust and confidence. And what about these institutional weaknesses? As you mentioned, allegations of corruption, allegations of nepotism. Is there a crisis of credibility here?
Look, we must confess it is very difficult to attract skills, appropriate, qualified, meeting the competencies at local government as it is today. Whether it's worse in a rural area. The rural areas are their problem is compounded by the grading systems. The smaller the municipality, the little money it has, or the little money or grants and subsidies it receives from government. So take, for example, you are advertising a post of a chief financial officer in OR Tambo district in the rural of the Eastern Cape, or anywhere else in KZN. And if that municipality is graded level 3, for example, you will be paying that chief financial officer, who you want him or her to be a chartered accountant, at around 600, 800,000. It doesn't attract in comparison to what the market offers those people. In the city of Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni or anywhere else, the same person, same duties, same responsibilities, same legislations to be adhered to will be getting around 1.8 million. And the attraction, you will know where does it go. But then the second problem of credibility here comes in terms of the sphere. How volatile it is, how political it is, and how deeply entrenched it is. Let's just take a good example of the election of the mayor yesterday in Nelson Mandela Bay. I mean, widely publicized on television, is still fresh on our minds. But it is very difficult to sit there and be a municipal manager. And Nelson Mandela Bay is not rural entirely. But you can't sit there being a municipal manager qualified. The situation is political, there's instability, there's violence, there are safety issues, and those are credibility issues that the sphere has lost.
We are in the midst of a great crisis, Councillor, due to the coronavirus pandemic. Health, the economy, our livelihoods, all impacted. As the President was saying in that speech, it's a setback to all spheres of governance, I guess. Local government is the nerve center of service delivery. Talk to us about the impact on bread and butter issues. How has it affected service delivery?
Major. Besides budget cuts, unemployment from rates and taxes payers, because that directs exactly to a resident of a particular local municipality whose expectations of water and electricity are still standing and standard and needed to be provided by the municipality. As a result, you provide the service under pressure, undue pressure in most instances, riots, a pressure that the municipality financially now can be able to live with in terms of paying for ESCOM. And remember, we pay on a day-to-day service, after the service has been offered. So if you're unemployed, nowhere in our constitution which says you don't deserve water because you're unemployed. Do we get enough subsidy to subsidize the unemployed who are sitting in our wards? No. But there is a silver lining for us at local government, which was brought by COVID. The integratedness of government. For the first time, we're able to put it under test, under pressure, and be able to deliver. It's for the first time in our existence as a sphere, literally and practically, sitting with national, provincial, and a local sphere in a particular province, in one room, plan for how we're going to deliver water in a village that has never had water.
Right. What role, I mean, many people by now would have heard about something called the district development model. Last year, Cabinet approved this model, but some might not understand how it actually works. Break it down for us. Talk to us about its primary purpose. Practically, how does it work?
In fact, it works exactly as how COVID has pushed us to work. It says there must be one government, one plan, one budget. Those are the aspirations. A local mayor needs to know a Department of Education is going to be putting a school at a particular corner, and the mayor must provide land through council, and the department must build together with public works, and beneficiaries must be readied by the municipality promptly. Safety and security must be provided, etc. At the holistic approach of delivering services. Currently, what we have been having, you will have land reserved by the municipality, a need for a police station versus a school, and there is no proper coordination and planning. And what the president then said, let's pull back. What does our white paper of local government says? It says integrated planning needs to be localized in the 205 municipalities which are seated in our country to ensure that they spearhead planning. Already, the legislation provides for the IDP, which is the Integrated Development Plan of municipalities, which previously national and provincial department were not thoroughly attending to such planning apparatus and sharing with municipalities their needs in that local, whether it's for economic development, for social development, like education and health. And we need to cluster these packages and develop economic pockets for each and every municipality to be able to live. So already we have profiled all the municipalities, 44 districts, as per the district model, and they are going to be nerve centers of delivery across the country. That is 44 districts and 8 metros, giving us a 52 pockets of excellence at the local government and a nerve point center of delivery for the entire government.
Right. Councillor, we often talk about the triple threat here in South Africa: poverty, unemployment, inequality. One would say growing local economies is seen as absolute key, isn't it, if we are to make any headway in solving some of these issues. What initiatives are in place or in the pipeline to resolve these problems?
Thank you very much. As I've said, the district development model then isolates this 52 plus 57 local municipalities which have got economic potential. The first step, which has already been undertaken by ourselves, SALGA and COCTA, and those municipalities, was to profile those municipalities. If it has got its strength in mining, if it has got its strength in farming or agriculture, etc., what is it that we could link from a TVET that is local there to train appropriately, to link all the economic drivers of that particular municipality to the national, provincial, and the local government. That way, it will ignite the economy of those municipalities. The infrastructure division located in the office of the president has already begun with bankable cases which will be able to draw subsidies or to draw funding for some of these projects. And I think 66 of them, Dr. Ramokhupa has already indicated that they are shovel ready and they are going to be able to ignite, employing the local people who will in turn pay the municipality their rates and taxes, and our municipalities will become sustainable and unemployment will not be highly affecting all of us. Yes, we need to move faster than a plan, because that's not what we need to talk about now. We need to be talking about practicalities, areas of strength, already drawing into what the employment is be, but we start somewhere. And what is encouraging is that we are almost at the implementing phase.
All right, Councillor, we thank you very much indeed for your time. We have to leave it there. We appreciate your perspective on matters. Be well.
Thank you very much, and thank you to our viewers.